Unpeeled. And well, today we've got a couple of things for you, and we're going to start off with aircraft carriers. So Huntington Ingalls Industries, or HII, I guess you'd call it, or I don't know how the cool people call it, but has just received or qualified a 316L 3D printed steel with NAVSEA for use on board Navy ships at sea. Now, the exciting thing here is that what they're going to focus on initially is things like pipe fittings and other components, mainly in aircraft carriers and submarines. As we know, several aircraft carriers underway have 3D printers on them, and we're going to be seeing a lot more 3D printers as a melt on board Navy ships, as a meltio system inside of a HAAS system on board a Navy ship, and they're doing more kind of commercialization on land as well. So this is just another one of these steps towards this industrialization. But what I found the most interesting is, first off, pipe fittings is something we don't really talk about often. So that's something maybe we should think about. And the next thing, I know I've made this point before, is now, we're not really seeing new businesses emerge that are doing 3D printing for NAVSEA, for the Navy, and for MRO in particular. Now, there are companies like Syntavia and stuff that are specialized in doing high-end 3D printing components for the military, the defense establishment, and new space generally, right? We are seeing Adman and all these other companies come up with high-quality standards and stuff like that. Now, it could be these guys are chasing this business, but we are seeing a lot of really specific to the Navy opportunity. And again, I'm going to repeat myself, but maybe people think this is a thing or a business. This is an incredible business, right? The United States Navy spends $12 billion a year on Hawaii, just on Hawaii, in Hawaii, on training and maintaining troops and doing everything they do on Hawaii alone. That's bigger than a lot of economies on this earth. On the shipbuilding front, the Navy is expected to spend over $30 billion a year for the next 30 years on a shipbuilding effort. The budget of the U.S. Navy is $290 billion. $290 billion. Now, they don't have to 3D print a lot of a high percentage of their parts in order for this to be an extraordinary business opportunity. So I know that people are moving towards this, think, oh, well, maybe we should get like somebody who's specialized in that kind of thing. But this is just a huge opportunity. And I think a lot more, I don't know a lot of other opportunities that are this big, and so especially in the metal space, in the OEM material space, this is something really a lot more companies should be spending a lot more attention on. The next news comes to us from Law 360, and Law 360 reports that Continuous Composites has kind of essentially dropped or withdrawn from the most of this lawsuit it brought against Markforged. Now, this is about kind of the idea is it initially said that 5 patents were being infringed by Markforged. Now it's dropped essentially 4 of those in the suit. And this has had to do with the definition of a curable liquid material, what is meant by curable and what is meant by liquid. And now, essentially, the conclusion so far is that Markforged has not infringed on 4 out of the 5 patents. The lawsuit will continue in about 8 months or so, with one of those patents being the patent 11-173-660, for those of you very interested. And that's like a general continuous composite 3-dimensional printing patent. That patent you might see as like a utility, or really kind of like an essential patent, and it could be a very, very important patent for continuous composites going forward. Now, let's look at this again a little bit deeper. I mean, this is, Markforged does this, Impossible Objects, other companies do this. There's lots of businesses, 9T, that are working in this continuous or short fiber composite materials. It has a lot of applications, from bikes to automobiles to parts in aircraft, just commercial aircraft, to parts on drones and other things. The market is going to be very, very large. There are only very, very few players. And we have the same problem that we saw earlier with powder bed fusion. With 3D printing, people have to realize that there's only so many ways to butter a sandwich. There's only so many ways that we spread material and then harden it some way, right? We spread a liquid, or we spread a powder, and we put a resin on it, we put a laser on it, or something like that. There's only so many ways to do this. So our patent landscape is particularly very constrained, and this kind of you or I, or if you had a small startup, we couldn't really survive one of these patent procedures. So it's a kind of large company kind of game played against each other for the future. So these kind of things, is legal impact of these kind of things is going to be much more important, especially in the composite space. So it'd be interesting for us to pay more attention to this and be more into getting patents. I would really recommend that. The next thing is by a Leeds-based guy called Nick Hardman. He's in the UK, and he has started something called the 3D Toy Shop Teddy Hospital. And I think this is absolutely fantastic. So far, he's collaborated with a whole bunch of people that sew teddy bears or make other toys, right, for children. They've made over 2,300 worldwide. Now, the really interesting thing about these teddy bears, you can see it on this one a little bit, but you can see it on the next one a little bit more. What these teddy bears feature are some 3D printed components, and Nick prints those, and they are prosthetic limbs, heart transplant kind of things, little pacemakers, insulin pumps, foot splints, catheters, dialysis machines, that kind of thing. The idea being that the child will then get a teddy bear or other toy printed with exactly the kind of things that they have to wear every day, exactly the kind of thing that they will have to wear in hospital or something like that. Now, obviously, this is wonderful and it's adorable. Now, if you're a marketing person working in 3D printing materials or machine sales, why are you still listening to this? Please go help these guys. Fantastic opportunity marketing wise, also fantastic opportunity to do something really, truly lovely. But think about this, right? You're getting a bear, and that can be used, first off, to socialize this, to explain this, right? Not only to the kid, but also brothers and sisters, maybe, friends, right? It can normalize it in the child's eyes. They'll understand it better because somebody can take a kind of preview the procedure or what's going to happen to their body or what is going to happen. And I just think this is an absolutely fantastic thing. I think it's wonderful. And I just hope that more people will do stuff like this. I think it's a fantastic 3D printing application. It's cute and adorable and a wonderful thing to be doing. And I hope people reach out there to the 3D Toy Shop Teddy Hospital to look at how we can demystify and educate and make kids feel better about the medical procedures they're about to undergo through getting them bears and kind of like customized bears, if you will, to fit their disease and things like that. I think it's absolutely wonderful. Anyway, I hope you found this useful. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you have a wonderful day. My name is Joris Peels, and thanks to 3dprint.com. This is another 3D printing news.